Francine, great to see you. So why didn't the New York Times attend this year's media conference?
Great question. Nice to see you too, Melissa. We had a discussion with the New York Times before the conference. They wanted to come, set up a booth, and we just told them that we weren't ready to have them there just yet. Our board members, we had a discussion about it, and we didn't feel it was the right time for them to have a big presence, a booth at the trade show with their logo prominently displayed, especially after an article that they wrote a couple years ago about Canada's Inuit, and a statement we made on that.
You guys had, like NAJA had some dialogue with the New York Times about that coverage. Just give us a little bit of a rundown on that and what their response was to the concerns that you guys have brought up with them.
You know, they stood by their editorial process and their article and their reporter. And we understand that not everyone's ready to make an apology and go down that road toward reconciliation just yet, especially a big media outlet with no Indigenous journalists in their newsroom.
Right.
So we left it at that. It wasn't resolved after we met with their editorial leaders. But we really wanted to see if our instincts were right about the New York Times, their coverage historically. And we actually had an audit done. We did a media spotlight report, and our audit found a lot of problematic coverage from the New York Times, unfortunately. But we do hope that we can move forward with them one day. And, you know, despite them not having a presence at the last conference, there's always hope for an apology and some reconciliation.
And they're asking for refunds on their membership, is that right?
That's right. Yeah, it's nothing personal from our end, and the individuals they asked for the refund for the conference registration fees and the $55 memberships, which was very disappointing. So again, that's a relationship that really needs some repair, resetting, and some reestablishment.
Well, there's no shortage of relationships like that on both sides of the border here in Canada and the United States. So from the perspective of NAJA, how can media outlets do better by serving Indigenous people, communities, issues? What's the ask?
Hire Indigenous journalists and invest in our organization. We need programs, educational programs, that can help our communities and our people become journalists and work for outlets like APTN one day.
Francine, thank you so much for your time today. It sounds like it was a great conference. Hope lots was accomplished there, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you, Melissa, and thanks to all the APTN viewers.